plants do something incredible. They take sunlight and turn it into the food and oxygen we all need to live. It's a fundamental process on Earth. We see it everywhere, in every leaf and blade of grass. It looks calm, even slow. But inside those plant cells, things are moving at a speed, and with an efficiency that still puzzles smart people. For a long time, scientists thought they had a pretty good handle on how photosynthesis worked. When light hits a leaf, pigments like chlorophyll soak up that light energy. Then this energy gets passed from one molecule to the next, like a bucket brigade, until it reaches a special spot where it can be used to start making sugars. It all seemed to follow regular classical physics rules, like billiard balls bouncing off each other. But there was a problem. When scientists looked really closely, at a super tiny level and at incredibly fast speeds, the numbers didn't quite add up. The energy transfer was just too good, too efficient, and too quick. If it were just classical physics like those billiard balls, a lot of that precious light energy would get lost. It would turn into wasted heat. Plants are too smart for that, they don't waste much at all. They convert about 95% of the absorbed light energy into usable forms. That's astonishing. Our best solar panels are nowhere near that. This made some people think there must be something else going on. Something a bit weird. Something that only shows up when you look at things at the smallest possible scale. The quantum scale. Now, quantum sounds scary. It sounds like super complicated science fiction stuff. But it's just the rules of how the universe works when you get down to atoms and electrons. It's a different kind of rulebook than what we see in our everyday world. Think about it like this. In our world, a car can only be in one place at a time. It's either here or it's there. It can't be both. But in the quantum world, a tiny particle can actually be in many places at once. It's a strange idea, but it's real. And this strangeness, this quantum weirdness, seems to be a big part of how plants do their magic. Especially in the very first steps of photosynthesis when they are grabbing light energy and moving it around. Let's break down what's happening. When light hits a chlorophyll molecule in a plant, the chlorophyll gets excited. It absorbs a packet of light energy called a photon. This energy doesn't stay in the chlorophyll molecule for long. It needs to move. It needs to get to the reaction center. That's the chemical factory where the actual work of turning light into chemical energy begins. The journey from where the light hits to the reaction center is a short one in terms of distance, but it's crucial. And it's packed with a bunch of other chlorophyll molecules and other pigments. They are all arranged in very specific ways, making up what we call light harvesting complexes. Think of these complexes as big antenna arrays. Their job is to catch as much light as possible and funnel all that energy to the reaction center. So, the chlorophyll absorbs the light. It gets excited. We call this excited state an exciton. An exciton isn't exactly an electron, but it's like a package of energy that can move from one molecule to another. This exciton needs to travel through a dense crowd of other pigment molecules. Imagine trying to walk through a really packed concert hall. You might bump into people. You might get slowed down. That's what you'd expect. The energy should get lost, but it doesn't. Instead, the energy seems to zip through this crowd almost perfectly. It doesn't bounce around randomly. It doesn't waste time figuring out which way to go. It seems to know the best path, and it takes that path incredibly quickly. This is where quantum mechanics steps in. One of the key quantum ideas at play here is called quantum coherence. This is where things get a bit mind-bending. Remember how I said a quantum particle can be in many places at once? Well, an exciton. This packet of light energy seems to do something similar. When it's excited in one chlorophyll molecule, it doesn't just decide, okay, I'll jump to the next one over. Instead, it acts like it's spread out over multiple chlorophyll molecules at the same time. It's like the energy is exploring several paths all at once, in parallel. Imagine a maze. If you're a classical person, you pick one path, walk down it, and if it's wrong, you turn back and try another. That takes time, but if you're a quantum person, you could literally be walking down all the paths in the maze at the same time. You'd instantly find the exit. That's what quantum coherence allows the exciton to do. It can test multiple energy transfer pathways simultaneously. This lets it find the most efficient route to the reaction center with amazing speed. It's not just jumping from A to B, it's more like A is connected to B, C, and D all at once, and the energy takes the fastest way to get to its destination. This idea of coherence was first observed in lab experiments in the early 2000s. Scientists used super-fast lasers to watch these processes happening in real time. They saw evidence that these excitons were indeed staying coherent, spread out across multiple molecules for much longer than anyone thought possible in a warm, messy biological environment like a plant cell. Usually, when something is coherent in the quantum sense, it's very fragile. It's easily messed up by heat and vibrations. Think of a very delicate ripple pattern on water. If you drop a pebble in, the pattern is ruined. A plant cell is full of pebbles. It's warm. Molecules are constantly vibrating and bumping into each other. It's a noisy, chaotic place. So, for quantum coherence to last in such an environment was a big surprise. It shouldn't happen, but it does. And this leads to another fascinating aspect, the role of noise. In our human-made quantum computers, noise is the enemy. It destroys coherence. But in plants, it seems the noise, the molecular vibrations and jiggling, might actually be helping. It's a bit like having a helpful, controlled amount of chaos. Think about it this way: if the excitant stays perfectly coherent for too long, it might get stuck. It might keep exploring paths, but never quite commit to one. It needs a gentle nudge to move forward. The vibrations from the surrounding molecules provide just that nudge. They act like a subtle guide. They help collapse the excitant's widespread quantum state onto the next molecule along the optimal path. This process is often called vibrationally assisted energy transfer. The plant isn't just tolerating noise, it's using it. It's like the plant has evolved to harness this environmental noise to fine-tune the energy transfer, preventing the excitant from getting trapped in a dead end. So, the quantum coherence allows the excitant to explore many paths, and the environmental vibrations act like a guide, gently pushing the excitant along the best of those paths, ensuring it reaches the reaction center quickly and efficiently. It's a brilliant dance between quantum probability and environmental interaction. Another quantum trick that might be involved is quantum tunneling. This is where a particle can pass through a barrier even if it doesn't have enough energy to go over it. Imagine trying to get to the other side of a wall. Normally, you need enough energy to climb over it. But if you're a quantum particle, you can sometimes just magically appear on the other side without ever climbing. It's like teleportation on a tiny scale. In photosynthesis, this tunneling isn't usually thought to be a primary driver of the initial excitant transfer, but it's very important later on during the electron transfer steps. Once the excitant energy reaches the reaction center, it's used to kick an electron out of a molecule. This electron then needs to move rapidly through a series of proteins to get to where it can do chemical work. These proteins can act as barriers. Quantum tunneling allows the electrons to zip through these protein barriers instead of having to jump over them, again speeding up the process and making it more efficient. This prevents the electron from getting stuck or reacting with something it shouldn't. So the plant is using these bizarre rules of the quantum world to its advantage. It's not just a happy accident. Over billions of years of evolution, plants have honed their light harvesting systems to exploit these quantum phenomena. The arrangement of the chlorophyll molecules, the distances between them, the types of surrounding proteins, even the specific vibrations of the molecules, it all seems perfectly tuned for this quantum dance. Think about the structure of these light harvesting complexes. They aren't just random clusters of molecules. They have very precise, highly ordered structures. It's like an incredibly complex, tiny machine. The pigments are held in place by proteins, forming a scaffold. This scaffold ensures the pigments are at just the right distances and orientations to allow for optimal quantum communication between them. If they were too far apart, the quantum effects wouldn't work. If they were too close, they might interfere negatively. Evolution has figured out the sweet spot, and it's not just chlorophyll. Other pigments like carotenoids also play a role. They absorb different colors of light, expanding the range of sunlight the plant can use. They also help protect the plant from too much light energy, which can be damaging. These pigments, too, participate in the quantum energy transfer network, feeding their absorbed energy into the main chlorophyll pathway. The whole system is designed to act as an energy funnel. Light energy can hit any part of the antenna system, but it always ends up being directed, with almost no loss, towards the reaction center, which sits at the very bottom of this energy funnel. The quantum effects, especially coherence and the assisted transport by vibrations, ensure that the energy quickly and surely finds its way down this funnel. Why is this discovery important? Well, for one thing, it changes how we understand life itself. It shows that even fundamental biological processes, ones we thought were well understood, have a deeper quantum layer. It means living systems are not just machines operating by classical rules, they are quantum machines expertly crafted by evolution. But it also has huge implications for us. We are constantly trying to build better solar cells. We want to capture sunlight and turn it into electricity as efficiently as possible. Right now, our best solar panels are good, but they're still far from perfect. They lose a lot of energy as heat. If we can truly understand how plants achieve such incredible efficiency, we might be able to copy their tricks. Imagine a solar panel that could use quantum coherence to move energy around without losing hardly any of it. Or a material that could use environmental noise to guide energy instead of being hindered by it. That would be a game changer. It could lead to a revolution in renewable energy. Scientists are already trying to build artificial systems that mimic these quantum effects. They are designing new materials with pigments arranged in precise ways, hoping to recreate the quantum coherence seen in plants. They are studying how to engineer molecular vibrations to assist energy transfer. It's incredibly difficult because biological systems are so complex and self organizing. But the promise is huge. The research is still ongoing. We've made big strides, especially with advanced spectroscopic techniques that allow us to observe these ultra-fast quantum processes. But there's still a lot we don't fully grasp. How do plants maintain such long-lived coherence in a warm environment? Are there other quantum effects at play that we haven't even thought of yet? Can we really replicate this in a lab, or is it something that only life, with its billions of years of trial and error, can truly master? These are big questions. But what we know for sure is that plants are not just passively soaking up the sun. They are actively engaging with the fundamental rules of the universe, using quantum mechanics to power themselves and, in turn, to power almost all life on Earth. They are quantum masters, operating at a level of sophistication we are only just beginning to appreciate. And understanding their secrets could help us build a better, more sustainable future. It's a pretty humbling thought that the answer to some of our biggest energy challenges might be hidden in plain sight in every green leaf.